today, have you seen in some of our older DockSide TVs, we like to fish some old beat up camps down south of the trestle heading towards Seabrook, Haynes Boulevard area. Now what we have noticed this year is looks like the last hurricane knocked the tops off some of the pier pilings, so I'm having to really look close to find these fish, and it looks like there's a handful of redfish grouped in these little abandoned camp pilings. They're actually pretty dangerous, lower unit takers. They're eating these tiger bait matrix. Let me see if I can relocate this school of reds and get back on them. Every once in a while, you'll land a big old speck in the mix of these reds. Beautiful trout. Beautiful trout. Look how fat and healthy. We always catch big trout right here. Red hit it at the boat. I was about to pull the lure out the water. I tell you, it's really, really hard to see into the water here. To be able to tell where these pilings are. They used to barely stick up out the water and I could see pretty good and know exactly where to cast. Now I'm kind of fishing in the blind. A little bit of sun would help as I could see into the water. There he is. If it's a trout, it's a big one. Probably a red. Red. Good eating size reds though. Some might be a little bit short. You gotta be 16 inches. He's right at it, so we're gonna let this guy go. There he is. There he is. It's gotta be a red. Oh, beautiful trout. Beautiful spot. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. That's what we're looking for. Got him on a little roll right now. Let me just hurry up and get him in the well. We'll go over the tactics later. All right, when I like to try these pilings, anytime I'm going to the trestle, oh, there he is. Oh, I'd have missed him right there. Shucks. Anyway, anytime I'm going to the track on the south end and I'm getting a few bites, I like to break away and come here, and you always have a shot at a big one. Big trout here. I find these pilings, like you get some of the bigger females will seclude themselves over here. This is typically what I catch, some reds a handful of trout, but they're really nice. And we started on the bridge this morning, caught a few, nothing crazy, but just enough bites to tell me to give these pilings a look. The problem is finding these pilings is so hard now. Ever since I think it was Hurricane Zeta, we had so many of them last year. Those constant waves beating on them, it just knocked the tops off of them to where the only thing that's left is what's below. And the water's high right now, so I can't see. You know, if the water was medium to low, I would see just a little bit. They used to stick out the water a good 3 feet, but now not so much. So, oh, he tattooed it right there. So I don't know if I'm rolling over these fish. I don't know. I'm surprised I hadn't got snagged more. I'm gonna get snagged. I'm throwing it right in the mess. When I could see the pilings, it wasn't as bad. Snags, there he is. Another red. So it's either like a 2 to 3 pound trout or a 14 to 17 inch red. This one's probably a little short. And he is a little short. And as long as I can catch him, get him off real quick, I can pay attention exactly where I casted. Some type of buoy marker would be effective right now. That way when you hook one, you can throw that buoy right there and you'll know exactly where you're wanting to be. These little groups of, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Old abandoned camp piers across the whole Pontchartrain, Lake Catherine area. There's a lot of them, and then they can be really good. I mean, they grow a lot of barnacles. It's not much different than a bridge piling. The only difference is you can see them bridge pilings. Unlike this particular wooden structure, is underwater. But structure and barnacles equals bait, and bait equals fish. And that's just the way it goes. Alright, I'm gonna zoom in on my LA1 card from standard mapping and see if I can relocate where my GPS mark is on this underwater pilings here. Look what we got here. I hadn't seen one of these in a while. A little hybrid striper. Just another species on the old matrix shad. These aren't terribly uncommon, but I personally haven't caught one quite some time. Good eating fish, cool fish. We used to catch a lot of these when I was fishing bass in the canals as a kid, but I'm hanging out here in the lake. I'm gonna go ahead and let him go. Hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. We caught several little reds, some beautiful trout. When just going over how important it is to focus on some old wooden pilings. The older the better. So if you're ever going down a shoreline and you see a lot of old and abandoned camp pilings, you want to give them a try. They got good clean water, some current around them. I like to focus on them between 5 and 10 foot of water where they got some type of current breaking on the poles. That's a good little zone. And the older, like I said, the older the better, typically on when you're targeting these old wooden pilings. Color wasn't a big factor today. We used the lemon head, a little bit of green hornet, a little bit of tiger bait, just the old trusty matrix. What you needed today was a handful of jig heads next to you because a lot of snags out here. when you're fishing these wooden pilings like this. But make sure to subscribe to all of our episodes of DockSide TV. Subscribe to the Matrix Bait Box. You'll get your hands on some old trusty Matrix shads and some of these colors we use today in this subscription box coming out this month. And until next time, good fishing.